Hi Charlotte, my name is Lance. I'm a Choose to Work specialist with vocational rehabilitation. And what I do is help you with your job search.
Oh, okay. I
Sure.
appreciate that.
So one of the things I wanted to start with is to get a little bit of information about how your job search is going.
Yeah, so far, I've been frustrated for the past 3 years. I've been looking, I recently had a meeting with my counselor, Scott Ferris, and we discussed my future. The problem is, the computer says that I must have a bachelor's degree, and my goal really wasn't college. And he said that there's other schools, like uh, other departments, that they have. Certifications, and so I'm interested in going back to school for that. But I'm just not sure of what kind of position. I'm thinking about being a financial accountant clerk, and I've experienced that in the past 12 years.
Okay. Well, one of the things that we'll talk about today is I want to get an idea of how you're filling out your applications. Because what we want to do is make sure that we address any barrier that might be preventing you from getting a job.
Yeah, thank you
Okay.
so much.
It's a real simple idea, but one of the things that we go by is that when you're job searching, there are things that are within your control and things that aren't. So what we want to do today is look at the things that are within your control that we can work on to improve your success when you're job searching.
Okay.
So one important thing when you're going to apply for work, and it looks like you're looking to get into the finance and accounting field.
Yeah, just about any of those. I like working in the office, working at home, just whatever.
Okay. So one thing that's really important is that employers are looking to match up your skills with their job description. So it sounds like you're looking for 2 or 3 different types of jobs. So one of the things that you'll want to do is make sure that each application is tailored to the type of job that you're applying for. Okay.
Yes.
So one thing to do when you're filling out applications is to think about the skills that you have that relate to that position that you're applying for. And you can use the job description that's maybe posted in the job announcement as a template or a guide for you to make sure that you touch upon as many of those skills that they list in that description.
Okay. Yeah, that's wonderful. I would be happy for you to read my resume and look at my experience and skills.
That's good. That would be really nice. So once you are
okay. Woo. Yeah.
Once you start looking at and listing some of your skills on an application or on your resume, you want to tell an employer not just what you do, but how well you do it.
Okay.
Okay.
One of the things you might be experiencing when you go and apply for work, and you've maybe heard on the news, is that you've got a lot of people applying for work and not very many jobs. So one of the things that we need to accomplish is to get your resume or your application read by the person that's doing the recruiting.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So we want to make your application stand out and give them good information by telling them as much as we can how well you do something.
All
Okay.
right.
Hopefully that process is going to get you an interview. We'll have done an application or resume well enough that that person is interested in seeing you and interviewing you for the job.
All right. Sure.
So the next step you're going to probably move to is the interviewing phase.
Okay.
So something to keep in mind at the interview phase is that an employer has invited maybe 10 people in to apply or to interview for a job. And all of those people probably meet the minimum qualifications that that employer is looking for. So one of the goals that we have when you're interviewing is to beat out the other people that are interviewing for that same job. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I don't know how, to really make a good resume though.
Okay, great. And you say you're going to bring that resume to our next appointment?
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, great. One of the things that we'll be working on in your resume then is to develop a skills-based resume. Traditionally, resumes have listed your employment from the most recent back in time, sometimes about 10 years. What we're going to be looking at doing with your resume is highlighting your skills more than your work history. Does that kind of make sense?
If I have a old resume and it's lousy, I just need to improve it and make it look better.
Okay. One of the things that we can do when we look over that resume is I can bring a printout of some of the skills that are related to the different types of jobs that you're going to be applying for. And we can use that as a guide to write your new resume.
All right. Well, I'm just curious. Will I be able to go to school? After we interview about the resume, will that be a possibility?
There's a couple of different things that we could do. One, we want to look at some of the skills that those jobs have and then match up some of your skills to see if you have some of the skills that are required for the job. If you just need to learn some skills related to that job that you could maybe learn on the job, then one of the things that we can look at is on-the-job training.
Oh, okay. Before I've gotten, they sent me to a type of technology job that I've gotten. I've done that.
Yeah. So we might be able to do an on-the-job training agreement with an employer if you have enough of the skills to get hired in that position. If not, we'll have to look at schooling.
Okay. All right.
Okay, great. So how do you feel like your interviews go?
Yeah, I don't really get nervous. I get friendly and happy. I'm always positive during the interview. I don't really complain. I tend to be a nice person.
That sounds really good. I recently interviewed an employer that, and I asked them what they look for at each stage in the interviewing process. And you bring up a really important point that employers in an interview not only look to see if the person has the skills, but they look for friendliness. And so doing both of those are going to be really good for you.
Okay, yeah.
And then one suggestion that I give job seekers when interviewing is to know your past experience and how it relates to the position you're applying for.
Okay.
That can help you to answer those tough questions, like what can you tell me about yourself? Or why did you apply for this job?
Okay.
So if an employer asked you, what can you tell me about yourself? If you think of that statement, know your past experience, how it relates to the position you're applying for, that can give you a really good answer to that question for that interview. Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about today?
Here, I just have a goal to go to school, just for a job after I get certified. If I can pass the certification tests and look for a job.
Okay, great. Yeah, we'll work on that.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.